Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Fadekemi here. If you're new here, welcome. If you're old here, what's popping my G's? So in today's video, we're gonna be talking about you guys. Wait, I've been married for 4 years. Where did the time go? I cannot believe it. Okay, I can believe it. I mean, yeah, but like you guys get I can't believe it's been such amazing 4 years of being married just like yesterday that I said yes, that I met the man. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to be talking about 4 lessons that I've learned in 4 years of marriage. Four. So, lesson number one is that even if God tells you that someone is the one, you are still responsible for your choice and you are still responsible for making the marriage work. You still have to put intentional effort. And I don't even mean this in a cliche way, it's the fact, right? So I'm one of the people who can say that, oh yes, I prayed about my husband, and God gave me a yes. This does not mean I did not love him before I married him, or I did not like his character, or I did not look at other things. But I can say yes, so God's go ahead was what made me feel more peace to go ahead with him. But getting into the marriage, I think it's something that I knew, but realizing that this is what has been helping us is quite interesting to me. Knowing that it is because of intentionality on both parties to decide that this marriage will work. Like someone said, for a marriage to fail, there has to be one person that has decided that the marriage will not work anymore. So that's one thing that I've learned, that you as a person, both of you in your marriage, you have to be submitted to the Holy Spirit. Be intentional about submitting to the Holy Spirit so that when the offense comes, because offense will come, even with your siblings, your parents, your family, your friends, you have offense. Not talk about someone that you're living with. Offense is something that will naturally occur in every relationship we have, but it's our job to be intentional and listen to the Holy Spirit. That's one thing I can say for sure. Listening to the Holy Spirit will greatly help you as a person. So yes, that is one thing that I've learned. God can tell you yes. God can say, oh yes, this is the person. In the Christendom, we like to say, God said you're the one. Yes, God can say the person is the one, but God is not going to be in the marriage. Let me not say God is not going to be in the marriage. You see, God is not going to make the decision in the marriage for you. You have to make it yourself. You have to choose peace with the person. You have to choose the Holy Spirit. You have to choose the Holy Spirit's way. You have to choose the gifts of the Spirit, the fruits of the Spirit's way. You are the one that has to be intentional about how the marriage will go. And that's why you can see unbelievers, their marriage can work. So while we may say, oh, God is at the center. Yes, God is at the center of a believer's marriage. But unbelievers' marriage also work. We've seen people who have been married 20 years, 25 years, and they actually enjoy their marriage, even though they were not believers, because some of them are practicing these fruits of the Spirit that we believers are refusing to practice. So that's the greatest lesson I learned. That is my responsibility. Me and my partner is our responsibility to make sure that the marriage works. And this will lead me to even also say this. This is not even part of the point, but it just dawned on me now. Another thing that I've greatly learned is that anything, I cannot control how my partner will behave. I can only control how I will behave and how I will react to their behavior. So I can, for example, I can say, oh, I want my husband to be more romantic, and I'll be saying, God, let him buy me flowers. But I can decide that, okay, I want to be the more romantic one, teach him, and then I'll say, okay, I'm going to buy flowers for him, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, so that he will see and learn. But if I'm there sulking and keeping resentment in my heart and say, oh, he's not doing this, oh, he's not doing that, oh, he's not doing that, I cannot control my partner. You cannot control any human being. That's the thing. You can't control anybody. So your partner can say, oh, I like football, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can be sulking and say, oh, you don't just spend time with me. Or you can say, okay, let's be subscribing at home and let's be watching the football together. That way you're still spending time with them. So it just takes being wise, and intentional, and just saying, I can control my own outcome through my own self. I can't control other people's reaction to me. Right? My second point will be that Are you ready? Money is an important topic to talk about. Would I be an accountant if money is not inside this conversation? And I'm not even saying this because I'm an accountant, but it's just something that is so paramount that I've seen that money actually causes fight. The other day I saw on Twitter where this particular podcast was shared, and they said that a babe had 35 million that her father sent to them as wedding gifts, and she did not tell her husband. And I'm like, although her explanation was kind of like genuine, like she didn't plan to not tell him, like it was just an oversight. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a very big oversight, okay? But yeah, back to the conversation is money is a big, a huge deal in marriage. Money can cause fight. Money do usually cause fight. So you guys have to talk about everything money. From even the courtship, okay? What are you earning? How are you earning? What is your plan for money? Like, because when you people get married, there's something Yoruba people call bukata. You know, they're calling bukata. Life issues will happen, okay? And you need money to fund. So it will not be nice when it's only one party dropping money, the other party is feeling used, especially when it's the women. You know, women, yes, we like to say equality, equality, but many of us, our equality have not reached money aspect. What I've realized in terms of our own marriage in these 4 years when it comes to money is that number one, honesty. If you're not honest with your partner about the way you're spending money, it can cause issues. Another thing is family people expectation in terms of your money still, right? Your partner might have his own family expectation, you have your own family expectation, and you guys still have to contribute in the house. So that's why you have to be wise with money as a married person. That's what I have learned. You can't just be giving people everybody that comes to ask you, you're giving them. Then at home, they are lacking in money. So money is such a crucial topic, and the one thing I'll just say is be honest. Honesty in terms of your money, communication, how you're spending the money that you're earning. This conversation has even moved from what are you earning, how are you earning it, is now how do you spend money? And it's good to be honest with your partner. So if you know, for example, in my own home, I'm the prudent one. My husband is a lavish spender. And in almost every home that I know, there's a lavish spender and a prudent spender. Like almost everybody. There's a few marriages that you said the two of them are prudent, the two of them are lavish. If two of them are lavish, problem. If two of them are prudent, problem. It's not like what I mean prudent, I mean because see, if both of them are lavish, they cannot save. If both of them are prudent, they will not be able to spend money on anything. They can't even buy wig because they'll be like, we have to save. We have to save. Sometimes spend the money. Okay, calm down. So while I'm a prudent spender, I try to balance things. But within my husband and I'm the prudent spender. My husband is the lavish one. So if you both know already this, if you are both honest about your money conversations, the person that knows that is lavish will make sure that the person that is prudent is the one keeping the money. Don't just leave it and be then to now lead to a greater problem or debts. No, if there's a debt you're servicing, by all means, talk about it. Next point will be children. Children. Children will change the dynamics of your marriage. If you're not ready for this conversation, you're not ready. Let me tell you. You guys, like, I don't know if like I don't know if it's something that I even knew before I got married. Because if you're single, let me just tell you now. So make sure that you have children within your emotional capability or capability or ability or agility, whatever English you want to use. You need enough emotional ability and capability to be able to survive as a marriage with children. Children will change the dynamics of your marriage, and you have to be welcoming to the idea and then walk around it. If you're not welcoming to the idea, you may resent your children or resent your partner. I actually watched this movie recently where the lady gave birth. Both of them were very close, and I think they waited for like 1 year, 2 years before gave birth after marriage. Then when they had the baby, the woman started spending time with the baby, breastfeeding the baby. She was breastfeeding the baby exclusively. So because she was spending time with the baby, the man started to feel jealous. The man started to resent her. And then the woman was like, but it's your baby, and it's just a matter of 6 months, 7 months, 1 year, and I can, be able to focus on you. But the problem was both of them were not learning the balance of children, how they change the dynamics of the marriage. And for one child, it's still even fair. But when it comes to two children, fam, you have to be extra intentional to spend time with each other. And I think that the solution with this, being a new parent of two children, I think the solution with this for us is that it's not like we've totally gotten it, and I cannot come and say, oh, we've gotten it. But what I can say is that both be involved in the children life. So I know that when it comes to children raising, especially in their formative years, like when they are babies, 1, 2, 3, the woman is usually more involved because you're the one that will breastfeed, you're the one that will take care of the child. But one thing is, as a woman, don't feel resentment and be like, oh, this man's not even doing anything for me. Instead, carry him along in the raising of the children. So on some days, insist that you change the diaper. On some days, say, please help me carry him. He's not helping you because he's his child. Yes, that's a conversation we have to have. He's not helping you, he's his child, right? But just have that conversation. Involve the man in the raising of the babies, or else as a woman you feel resentment. So sometimes he has to bat for the baby. So while you're taking care of one child, let him take care of the other child. Another thing is involve him in the conversations with the children. So for example, I'm making a call to my husband, like, see what Fisaya just did now. Come and see, I'll make a video call, show him. See, he's always talking, we'll laugh about it. Don't just be doing it alone and say, oh, he's not here, so it doesn't matter, or he doesn't care, then you leave him like that. No. So if you're going to have children, if you know that you want to have children, you want to have a kingdom marriage, be prepared for this, be prepared for the change that it will bring, and be prepared to be intentional to fight for your marriage. Don't let go of your husband or your wife because of children. I think it's women that do it the most. They are focused on their children. You hear our older moms, they're always like, oh, mommy new, oh, mommy new, it's my children that matter to me. No, don't focus on your children and leave your partner. That is wrong. Because the thing is, these children will eventually leave, and when they leave, it's you and your partner back to square one. I mean, all of us we were raised in a home, right? And we too have left our father and mother. Is that partner that you chose that will remain with you? And that's something Pastor Kisley said that I learned. He said that our partners, our spouses are the only family members we actually choose. We don't choose the house that we get into. We don't choose our mother, our father, our siblings, but we choose our partners. So stick with your partner. Don't choose your children over your partner. Yeah. Finally, my last point will be that, and I'm going to give it like a two-in-one kind of point: marry a solid person, because surprises happen. Okay, things happen in marriage. There's grief, there's pain, there's, for example, maybe people that experience a miscarriage. For example, maybe someone experiences, maybe they lose their father, their mother in the marriage. Then there's situation of sickness. Like we experienced my husband being sick, like you guys, like a terminal illness. Okay. Like, hey, like you could be at work and you just call it that your husband just fainted, your wife just this one. Marry a solid person, that, and you see it when you're dating, the kind of conversations that you have with the person, the way the person reacts to issues, does the kind of the way the person just behaves. Marrying a solid person is so important because it will help you, because surprises happen in marriage. That's the lesson. Surprises can happen, and when you guys are united, having a united front against something and having the same values will help you through the surprises, through the journey of marriage. For example, like your partner has the same spiritual values as you. So when someone comes to say, oh, I want to take you to one babalawo or one priest or one alpha or something, if both of you have the same values and you're united, it will change everything. So I guess the lesson in this one is really unity in marriage is so important. As a couple, husband and wife, you guys have to be saying the same thing. But it actually stems from having the same values and having and marrying a solid person that has the same values with you. You really, really need that united front, because I'm telling you, there will be external influences. There will be people trying to have, trying to talk over your partner's ear. There will be people trying to talk over your own ear. So you have to make sure that you are united, and you can only be united if you have the same values, you guys see things the same way. So even if you're not seeing things the same way on a particular issue, sit down and decide on the front you're going to take. But both of you have to have a united front. That's one great lesson I have learned in marriage. And let me now give you guys a bonus point. I just said 4 years, 4 lessons in 4 years, because I wanted it to sound, Nice. But of course, there are so many lessons I've learned. So this bonus point I want to give you is that, are you ready for it? People change. Let me tell you, even you that you're accusing the other person of changing. Me, Fadekemi, I have changed. I'm not the same Fadekemi in 2019, in 2023, right? So maybe I should use the word people evolve. So in marriage, people will change, make room for their changes. What do I mean? Let me give you guys a very funny, easy example. Before I got back to my husband, he liked football, and I knew he liked soccer, football. Hey, but when we were dating, if they were playing match on a Sunday, but we had a date day, maybe we have planned that okay, we will see each other today. He will sacrifice the football for me and be like, "Oh, babe, like yeah, Chelsea is playing, but let's see. Since we've agreed to see, we will see. I'll feel like a cute girlfriend." Then we get married, and this man will tell me when I want to watch a match, when I'm watching something on TV, he's like, babe, I have to watch this match. I have to. There was a time I wanted to argue, like, I was like, no, I'm going to watch my Z World. And he's like, but I have to watch match now. Is that not why? Is that not why we decided? Actually, what we decided was before I used to go out to watch match. So we decided that okay, let us subscribe for a plan on DSTV that will allow us to be able to watch at home. That will allow him to be able to watch at home, so he doesn't have to be going out. So he doesn't spend more time outside instead of coming home like 10 p.m. after watching match. We agreed on that, and I agreed that I agreed. But then when he wants to watch it and I want to watch something else, I'm like, I can't believe this. When we were dating, you will sacrifice match for me, but now you can't. And he's like, that's when we were dating. And the fact is, there are so many things you were doing when you were dating that you no longer do when you're married. And this does not mean that you should, now start taking your partner for granted. That one, it usually slips in. We all have to now start saying, okay, let's not do this. Let's be intentional. But yeah, I'm just trying to say that was just a very, funny example. But that's just it. Like people will evolve in the marriage, and you have to be evolving at the same level with your partner. Oh gosh, that's such a valid one. I didn't even think about that. Yes, that one too is very valid. I remember that when I got my job as a lecturer, yes, I work as a lecturer. Well, that was one thing that one professor called me and told me. He said that one thing I want to tell you as a woman is that make sure that your husband, I really like to talk to him, but one thing is that make sure that your husband is evolving as you're evolving. Because there's a problem with many women who now become like visionaries, professors, something like they become such pace setters in their industries, but we can't find their husbands. And then it leads to resentment. So make sure that your husband is evolving as you're evolving. Same thing with husband too. We see your husband, he has now become MD, but his wife is looking like I always say it's like even in church, you see it happen. You see a man so fresh, so everything, and his wife will now be looking like I always tell my husband, see, as you are getting fresh, me too, I have to be, representing. So wives, don't lose guard. As your partner is evolving, don't be there saying, oh, this is not the person I married. You too, be evolving. Yeah. Okay, those are the lessons I've learned so far. Tell me which lessons stood out for you. Tell me which one, is calling your name if you're married. If you're married, share your experience also in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Remember to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up to help my video in the algorithm. And I'll see you guys in my next video.